Welcome back, and thank you for joining me as I show you how I draw this cute little cactus family, which I drew for my husband for Father's Day. The first thing that I did was try to outline the shapes that I wanted to use on this cactus picture. I outlined the shapes to represent a dad cactus, a mom cactus, and two smaller cactuses for our children. The idea for this card came from the saguaros that my daughter brought home and has been propagating in my house. And they have these little babies all the time and they make these cute little families. I drew the cactuses in a shallow planter because they have almost no root system. Once I got the basic shapes of the cactus and the planter onto the paper, I used my pencil to do some very quick sketching and adjust where I had the shapes so that when I use my pen, I will have better guidelines. Because I'm using light pencil strokes and I have an eraser, I don't worry at all about making it just the perfect shape. I try and get it a little bit closer with every time, and when I like the way my lines are, then I decide to use my marker. One type of marker that has a very consistent line and it comes in ultra fine, fine, and thicker is a Sharpie. As I outline these cactus, I like to use a smooth and rounded line, which is sometimes a little tricky. Sometimes my hand gets a little shaky, but if I move a little bit fast, it makes it a little easier. I made the two cactuses in the back both taller and wider than the cactuses in the front to show that they are the parents, as well as giving a little bit of depth to the picture. One thing that helps with smoother lines is to pull down or push up, whatever is easier. Also, to turn my paper as I work. In this video, I don't turn my paper because I think it makes it easier to watch. I actually adjust my body off camera so that I can work at an easier angle depending on what part of the drawing I am working on. A few extra lines at the bottom thicken the corners and ground the picture. With the pencil, I marked where each eye was going to be extra far apart for cuteness. I drew large circles for the exterior of the eye with a smaller circle near the top at one side to show where the light would hit the eyes. And then I used my Sharpie to fill in each eye, making sure that the only white that was showing on the eye was that dew point. I also went back and made sure that the eyes were the same size and shape and that they were round by adding a little bit to the exterior of the circle if needed. I thought it would be easier to get consistency with all of the eyes if I did all of the eyes first, and then after they were complete, go back and do the mouth. For each mouth, I first started with a U shape and then drew another U down below, making it thicker at the bottom and narrow at the top. Saguaro cactuses have ridges that go from the top of the cactus to the bottom. I drew the ridges with a slightly curved line that followed the edge of the cactus, and they're closer at the top because it gets narrow at the top. I left the lines off of the faces so as not to distract from their big eyes and friendly smiles. Along each ridge line, I placed clusters of thorns or spines. Each cluster consisted of an X or an X with another line through it to create like a little asterisk showing that there were little prickles all in a cluster. It took a lot of little asterisks to show all of the little clusters of thorns, but when it was all done, each cactus had its own character, and together they made up one cute little family of 4 super friendly, somewhat prickly cactus friends. A few minutes with the colored pencils really brought out the life in this little cactus family. Here is the card with the finished drawing, and the cactuses, of course, they inspired this little card. And I hope you have a wonderful week and have some time to draw.